Welcome to Grand Auto Food Store, your premier destination for a delightful selection of rice in the Gambia. We proudly offer Sadam, Barabara, Fash, Jasmine, and Basmatic, all sourced from a local Gambian brands. You can visit us in number 13 Hagan Street in Banjul, but also Kairaba Avenue opposite the Pipeline Mosque, where our friendly team is ready to assist both wholesale and retail customers. In addition to rice, we feature Dondo Jasmine 5% broken, Rainbow Basmatic 5% broken, Golden Grain Rice or commonly called Sadam 100% broken, Sky Rice or called Fast 100% broken. But also we have Delight, commonly called in the Gambia as Barabara 100% Sotex, meaning it has no broken context in it at all. Whether you are stocking up for your kicking or you need light quantities for your businesses, we have you covered. Experience the joy of shopping with a local Gambian business today, or call us at 2142049, 2142049, or better still 7551911, 7551911. And welcome to THD TV Youth Empowerment and Innovation Series. And today in the studio we have my colleague, that is not a person but Mustapha Jarju. But before we delve into this discussion, we remind you that this program is sponsored by the Grand Auto Food Store, that is in Banjul at Hagan Street, but there are other shop at Kairaba Avenue, just right opposite the Pipeline Mosque. So as I said earlier on, in the studio I have MOMODOU JANNEH, who is a youth activist and also someone that really stands for the right of the young people in the country. You are welcome, MOMODOU.
Thank you very much, Mustapha. It's a pleasure being here for the first time, and I can't wait for us to have this very important conversation.
I'm very comfortable having a colleague journalist in the studio.
Absolutely. So you expect a very interesting conversation.
In this discussion, we'll be talking about some of the issues with regards to the young people in the Gambia. Most recent, something is happening in the country that has never happened in the history of the Gambia since we have independence. And we are in the independence month of the Gambia that is coming very soon. Next week, if it is far, on the 18th February, Gambia will be celebrating its 60 years independent. So we are seeing currently it is developing, and there is pen on paper on this matter with regards to Gambian young people that are going to be traveling all the way from the Gambia to Saudi Arabia and Spain to work for those governments. What do you think about this?
Well, thank you very much, Mustapha, for that wonderful question. And I will use this opportunity to wish each and every Gambian a very important and occasion that will be coming. That is the birth of the Gambia. That's our independence, 60th year, celebrating independence. So aside from that, I think this is very, very important thing that every young person in this country really needs to be concerned with, because just like you rightly mentioned, this is the first time we are seeing such a thing happening in this country. But there is a bigger picture that we need to really look at, especially as a country, because if you said you are taking young people to another country for them to work for those governments or those countries in order to help themselves, you look at it at different angles or different perspectives. The government might say this is a way that they are using to cope unemployment in the country, but also you look at the kind of job that these young people are going to do.
Do you think it really matters to see maybe the job condition that they are going to be having in those countries, since we have seen like recently at the lower department, a lot of young people were there pushing one another to go for this?
So I must register my frustration and disappointment with the manner in which it was even done. You see young people scaling fence, just to go and pick a form that is supposed to be given to only 50 people as
but
reports.
That is an opportunity for them to have job.
But I mean, to me personally, I don't see the essence if the contract document that is supposed to be between the Gambia and the Republic of Spain, and also between the Gambia and Saudi Arabia. These are young people that are going to these foreign countries. Okay, now you put it into this perspective. What kind of job are they going to do? How many hours are they going to work? Even with the issue of Spain, we have seen, with the issue of Saudi Arabia, they said they will be receiving $200 per month. Now, what is $200 for a young person? Even though they try to make things look very nice, that the food and accommodation will be settled, but you are working in a foreign land and you are expected to pay, license, let's say, for example, you're living in a foreign country, you need to pay, you know, as a foreigner. Who is going to pay that amount of money for you? Because you cannot stay in a foreign country illegally. So when it comes to the issue of Spain, what kind of work are they going to do there? In what conditions will they be in? Is there that, you know, binding agreement between the government of Spain and the government of the Gambia in order to protect the rights of these people that are going to work in Spain? What will be the working condition? How much are they going to earn at the end of the day? So all these are things that are not being, you know, discussed, or government is not telling us exactly what is in this contract. So this makes it very, very scary and a matter of concern to every Gambian that we really need to know. They might say young people are desperate to leave this country. That is simply because they see no future for themselves in this country.
But do you think the Gambia government will really accept that for their young people to leave the country and work in those foreign countries without any formalities, or maybe like respect for their human rights when they go to those countries?
If that is something of a concern to the Gambian government, I think they would have come at the first instance to tell people this is what is in the contract document that the Gambia government and the Spain government signed. This is the agreement between the Gambia government and the Republic of Saudi Arabia. All what they are telling us is what they are going to receive at the end of the day. You can be in the Gambia and receive that amount of money, but your right as a human being really needs to be respected. And looking at the nature of human rights violations in some of these countries, it's not something that is new to people. You are going to a foreign land, a different culture, different language, and you need to settle down. And more disappointingly, for the issue of Spain, these people are not going to stay there for 5 years. It is just a particular period of time. If my recollections are right, only 1 year. How do you learn the Spanish language between a period of 1 year? How are your people that employ you going to, you know, treat you? Because you are working for them. But the language barrier will be a hurdle.
Away from that, do you think all these Spain agreement between the Gambia government and Spanish government, do you think this agreement really makes sense, like to take youth away from the Gambia to Spain, when we have in our youth that are using the pathway journey to Spain, and I would say thousands of them are in Spain that are seeking for a job, and even some of them are being deported recently, and that deportation is continuing. Do you think it makes sense for that country to send in youth to that country to seek for a job?
So first thing, when I heard of this issue of this agreement between the Gambia and Spanish government, I was having a conversation with colleagues and I told them, how many Gambians have used the Mediterranean Sea to go to Spain? And a lot of young people are still in the camps in Spain. Why not use those people and build their capacity? Create job opportunities for them in Spain before bringing them back to this country. So to me, it makes no sense, because taking someone out of the Gambia to Spain for just a period of 12 months, what sense does it make? How do you build that person's capacity when he returns back to the country? What other opportunities is he going to find in this country after the end of the contract? So all these are things that we really need to put, you know, into perspective. We really need to scrutinize all these things. Let's not just focus in trying to save or give ourselves good name as a government to say, yes, we have created job opportunities for young people. That's not enough, and it should not spend there. The government should go deeper. This is between two sovereign states. We cannot mortgage our young people. You cannot take your young people, your most important resources, and take them and give them to other countries. We have Jahali Pachar here. What is wrong with Jahali Pachar? Can they help young people create more job opportunities, the skill training, the labor market? So all these things are, you know, something that the government really needs to work on. If all these things are in place, we wouldn't be sitting here today to talk about young people leaving this country and going to the foreign lands just to work for a period of 12 months.
Talking about the skill aspect of it, these young people that they are taking, most of them are like, when they go, for example, for Saudi, they are going to use them for domestic works. In Spain, maybe for farming. So what skill do you think these people can learn from those countries when they return back to?
Well, first, I think we need to look at what the government, in fact, first say, because one of the criteria that they will be looking at is you need to have some expertise in farming. So that alone raises a lot of question and a lot of concern. With the total number of people that picked form is almost 100,000 young people. And they say they need only 50 young people to go and work in Spain. But how will they vet that 100,000 application from all these young people to identify the perfect people that have the expertise and knowledge in agriculture to go and work in farmlands in Spain? If at all you use the resources that we have in this country to build the capacity of these 100,000 young people, it will not only boost our economy, but it will reduce the high rate of crime in this country. It will empower young people. So the issue of empowerment is not just creating jobs. It doesn't stop at that point. Create jobs that young people will work and have a meaningful, life. Something that they can gain amount of money that they can help themselves and help their families. But you cannot ask me to go and work and have 5,000 at the end of the day. I am renting. My parents are there. I have my own needs. How is that sustainable to the particular young person? So I think there are a lot of gaps that we really need to fix before we sit and think of exporting our young people from the Gambia and taking them to Spain.
And that you work in us live on TXD TV. This is your Youth Empowerment and Innovation Series program. And in the studio, we have MOMODOU JANNEH. JANNEH, continuing on that, when you first heard about this agreement between the Gambia government, Spain government, and that of Saudi Arabia, have you ever sat and think about this? And what comes to your mind?
The first time I read this, I felt disappointed. I felt betrayed as a young person. I felt that our government is not doing enough for its young people. And if you look at the country, that's the Gambia, our population, the highest percentage is the young people. They constitute the highest number. And you have these young people in this country as a government. Even if you look at the budget, the amount of money that is allocated to young people is very small. So where is the interest of the government when it comes to empowering young people? When it comes to, creating that avenue for young people to have a meaningful and sustainable life in this country? So I really felt disappointed and I really felt betrayed by my own government because they are not doing enough for the young people of this country.
But like we have seen that back in 2024, the president went on a Meet the People tour. And in North Bank region at Kerewan, the skill center that the government built there, the president was expressing his disappointment with regards to the young people in those areas, that like they have this structure and they have all the materials, but like still the youth are not going to that facility to use it to benefit themselves.
Well, I mean, having a skill training center for young people and you felt disappointed, have they even done a proper survey before constructing that skill training center at that place? Because you need to engage young people and know where their area of interest lies. For instance,
like, considering Kerewan in North Bank region, it is a good location to me. That's what I feel, because like we have seen many people living the rural areas coming to the combos to seek for job and also maybe to train skill. So having such a facility in those kind of communities is a good idea from the government.
I didn't say it's not a good idea or it is a bad idea, but it is important. If you go to a community, before you establish or do anything, you engage those people and know where their area of interest lies. You cannot come to my community and build a milling machine for me, because that's not my area of interest. Even if you build it there and leave it there, I don't have any interest to go there, because that is not my area of interest. Probably that is not my area of expertise. So it will become a waste. And all what you will say, we spend resources on this kind of things, and young people are not using them. So I think it is important to engage young people. And this is one thing, the breach of communication between young people and the central government is causing a lot of problem. Once there is no communication between young people, once there is not, that dialogue between young people and the people that govern them always becomes a problem. You need to engage them and know their problems first before you go and do anything for them that they are not interested in.
Away from that, when it comes to the innovation aspect, what do you think these travel agreements will help the young people, and what support do you think they need as of now, as they are preparing to recruit them for the journey?
So right now, I think, I mean, there's nothing, because all what these young people are saying right now is to get to Spain. This is all what these young people are saying right now, to get to Spain. But it is not clear to them. None of them will tell you, or will be able to tell you, the potential people that will be going to Spain. This is what I am going to find in Spain. They cannot tell you, because even our own government is not telling us. So to me, the time frame in itself is not good to build the capacity of these young people. When it comes to innovation, when it comes to experience, when it comes to building their capacity, the time frame is very small for them. You just go and work. At the end of the contract, you come back and you start from scratch. Because it is farming, you go and pick apples and then give it to them. Now, if those apples are in turn returned back to the Gambia and sold, to sell them in this country, and we purchase or we go and buy the same apples that our brothers picked in Spain in the markets.
If you are called today to go and pick this from, will you go for it?
Absolutely no.
Why?
So because I didn't see the interest in me going to Spain for only 12 months. And the job that I am supposed to do there, I would prefer the government spend on me, create a business where I will have a startup business, and give me that finance, give me that money, support me financially to establish my own money, to start a small scale business in this country, than go to Spain for only 12 months and come back.
Probably government don't have that money to cater for the youth in the country. This is why they decided to give it to another government.
So that is disappointing, because a sovereign state that cannot cater or create job opportunities for its young people, and all what it is resorting to now is exporting his own, most important resources to another country to work and, boost another country's economy, then that is really sad for the Gambia.
I have seen in the social media, some people are associating this with modern way of slavery in other way around. What is your opinion on that?
So I would tend to differ in calling my fellow brothers or sisters, slaves, or using them in a modern slavery. But I mean, if you look at the nature or the magnitude in which these things are done, I mean, it's really not appropriate. If you look at the first pictures that popped up on social media, the day that they were supposed to pick these forms, you see desperation in the faces of these young people. You see disappointment. You see hopelessness in these young people. So this is because they don't see anything that can keep them in this country. This is why they are all eager to live with any slim or slight opportunity that comes knocking at their door. So this is the problem that they find themselves in. And definitely, you cannot blame them for wanting to leave and go and work in Spain for a mere, token, or go to Saudi Arabia to receive only $200 per month. But because there is no hope for them in this country, they will all want to go, to these countries and work instead of living in their own country.
Do you have the opportunity to talk to the Spanish government, or maybe the government of Saudi Arabia, as young people in the Gambia today, and also youth activists? What message do you have to send to them? Yeah.
First, if they can build their capacity, a capacity building training for at least 1 year or 2 years. Build their capacity and make sure their rights are protected in your country. And also, don't only create a job that is going to be this labor work. Probably they have their expertise in other areas. If you really want to help and boost their capacity and other things, you create those jobs for them. If others have interest in going into farming, you take them to farming. But you make sure you build their capacity first and create that conducive environment for them to be able to work in your country.
So at this point, since the Gambia government didn't reveal the agreement content to the people of the Gambia, and even those people that are looking for the form to go for these journeys don't know actually what is the agreement between the Gambia and the Spanish government. On that aspect, what do you have to tell them?
So I think the government should come out and tell people what these contract documents entail. It cannot just stop at saying we are sending 50 young people to Spain, or we are taking young people to Saudi Arabia to be paid $200 per month. The last time the select committee at the National Assembly called the minister, he said the government is trying. They are negotiating with the Saudi government so that they can increase the amount of money that they are supposed to pay these young people. I think all that is not enough. We need to look at the bigger picture. In what condition will these people be? We have seen some of our Gambian brothers and sisters. They have suffered in these countries. So we don't want to see a replica of those things happening to our own brothers again. So the agreement needs to be clear. It needs to be a binding document between the government of the Gambia, the government of Saudi Arabia, and the government of Spain. All these things, the agreement, everything in this document really needs to be clear. And the people that are going to be lucky to go into these countries really need to know exactly what they are going to find in this country.
What reasons do you think we need in the country to ensure that we are able to control the issue of inadequate job opportunity for the youth and all that?
We have seen a few young people that are really doing well in their various areas. You know, some of them are ventured into entrepreneurship. But again, if you engage these same young people, will tell you the frustration that they are facing every day because the support is not there to boost their business. Of recent, I mean, we have had a case of a young woman being taken to court, even though I wouldn't dwell on that aspect because the matter is before the court.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you give grants. At the end of the day, if they are not able to pay, it becomes a problem. So I think the government really needs to allocate a special fund that will look at the issue of young people. I have always been an advocate of the Ministry of Youth and Sports being separated. I have always been advocating for this, and I will continue saying this. Because once the Ministry of Youth and Sports is all together, it is always going to cause problem. Because once the budget is allocated, the large chunk of the budget goes into sports, and football mainly. Even though we have other sporting disciplines in this country that young people are into, but the large chunk goes into football. So what are the other young people benefiting from the budget that is allocated to young people in this country? So I think all these are problems that we really need to look at if we really want to help the young people of this country to grow.
So away from that, when it's come to this job opportunities issue, this centralization aspect of it, because like even this form, we have seen people coming all the way from Pasay and other areas just to pick a form in the combos here with push and pull and all that. So like on that aspect, when it comes to young people having a job, even though this might be something that it is based on their own will, even though things are not going through the right way. So but like what easier ways do you think the government can create to ensure like things run smoothly as we are in the modern ways, and also there is advancing technologies? So what are some of the things do you think that the government need to improve?
Well, first, the Google form for them to apply. You don't need to rush. You live all the way from Diabugu, you know, from Badibu or Kiang or Jara, just to come here to the combos at Fajara to pick a form. This is really disheartening. Some people probably spend a day or two here to be able to have access to these forms. What is difficult, you know, in making this in a Google format where everybody will be able to apply? Even if you are not literate, you will have someone that will assist you in applying for, for this job. So seeing young people come and batch at one place, others have to scale the fence, and you see this scramble and everything, that was really, really disappointing. And I was really heartbroken when I saw those pictures popping on social media.
Is that a good sign for the youth?
It's not, because it is showing desperation. It is showing a lot of frustration on our young people. They have no hope. That is the truth. Our young people have lost hope in this country because things are really not going well for them. The environment is not conducive. Unemployment is at a rise. The high crime rate, substance abuse, everything. So all these are problems that young people are facing in this country.
So away from that, if at all like the Gambia government is able to create maybe a very large farm, maybe that has maybe thousands of hectares, and call for job application to for young peoples in the Gambia to come and pick a farm, do you expect the same thing?
But we have seen our young people venture into horticulture. We have seen our young people working in our farms. You go visit them in our farms, they will tell you we don't have support. Even to buy fertilizer, it's a problem for them. Where is the support? If at all that money is pumped, you encourage these young people and give them those support, our agriculture would have been at another level. But right now, as we speak, our agriculture, which we said is the backbone of our economy, is already on its knees.
But do you think, like, if I told the Gambia government said, like, we need 10,000 people, young people, to go to Jahan Pacha for
and work,
and like they are giving out form, do you expect the same scramble for people, young people, to be queuing to go there and work?
So let us put it in this perspective. They are picking form to go to Spain to work in their farmlands and expecting returns at the end of the day. If our young people are called to go and work at Jahali Pachar, for instance, they should be paid a particular amount of money. Some, not just a token, but something that will be sustainable. I can bet our young people will go and pick forms and go and work at this place.
That, what advice do you have to give to the Gambia government to maybe like consider those kind of ideas instead of taking out their young people? Because like we understand that thousands of young people have taken the backway journey many years now, and like most of them are still struggling to find job in those countries, and we have seen like they are deporting some of them. And like even the crimes in the country, I'm not saying that is the case, but like some people will associate it with like some of these people that they have returned from these backway journeys and all that. So but like what advice do we have to give to the Gambian government to maybe like think about this, to create more ideas and also like job opportunities to young people back home in way that the government itself is going to invest and make something out of it tomorrow that will benefit the nation at large?
So, I mean, you have just seen recently the president, just appointed a new youth advisor to the president, who is supposed to mediate between young people and the president, to have that dialogue and know the problems that they are faced with in this country. Of recent, we have seen a publication done by the Republic on some of the things that these backway returnees are facing when it comes to challenges, the amount of money that they are supposed to be given, and forcing young people to choose a particular business that they don't want to go into. So all these are problems. So what I will tell the government when it comes to the issues of young people and how to help them, we really need to look at our policy frameworks that we have for young people in this country. We just don't want policies and documents well crafted, beautifully written, for young people and leave them there. We need to implement these policies. We need to implement these documents that we have for young people. I mean, even when it comes to budget allocation, I think before you spend a huge amount of money to the office of the president, or let's say the money that is used for the people's store, you can use that amount of money to build the capacity of young people, to help young people have, a meaningful life, to be engaged into skill training, so that they can also have something that they will really focus on. The way we are wasting resources sometimes in this country is just mind-blowing. We forget some of the things that we have in this country that we really need to deal with. Sometimes we have misplaced priorities. So I believe we really need to look at some of the issues when it comes to budget allocation, when it comes to dialogue between young people and the government, to know the problems that they are faced with, and what best can the government do through the Ministry of Youth and Sports to help these young people in order to bridge the unemployment in this country, to reduce the high crime rate in this country, and also to reduce the high number of young people that are engaged into the abuse of substance in this country.
You, as a youth advocate, what do you know as per the communication and also like the connection between the government and the youth in this country?
So, most of the time, if I attend some of these activities or these events or whatsoever you call it, they say this event or programs for young people. And at the end of the day, you will see a 50 or 60-year-old man sitting at the high table, representing young people. Someone who will not even have that dialogue with young people. How do you expect that person to know the problems of young people? Young people need to be represented themselves, to be able to say their problems, to be able to say things that they face. So we are misrepresented. And this is one thing that have been really causing us as young people in this country, because people that are representing us don't know our problems. People that are representing us don't have that dialogue with us, the young people. People that are sitting at that place to represent the young people are not representing the young people as they should. So all these are challenges that young people are facing. In order for the problems of young people to be solved in this country, we need young people to represent us in those places. So with this, I believe we will bridge the gap of the miscommunication and the mismatch between the central government and the young people, but also our local representatives and also the National Assembly members. Once we have this dialogue with them, most of the problems that young people are facing in this community, or in this country, when we went to Kololi Taban, you will be saddened to know those people that are, using some of this illicit substance. These people are living within constituencies, and these constituencies have representatives at the National Assembly. They have local councils, everywhere. They have their representatives. But these people will tell you, their representatives will never come to them and have dialogue with them. They will never come to them to know the problems that they are faced with. Some of these people, when they were telling us their revelation, some of them, when they were saying the things that push them into, substance abuse, you wouldn't believe it. So what are we doing at the local level to have dialogue with all those young people? They will tell you, Ali Bulaje, Fatelen Fofu, Nye Amun Aim, and all those things. I mean, those kind of words that they hear makes their matters worse. Hadn't been you have that dialogue and know their problem, the problems that they are in today, probably one or two things you do for them will change their life. So all these things are problems. When we talk about central government, yes, as the duty bearers, we also need to talk about the local representatives at the National Assembly, at local councils. They all have a stake when it comes to the issues of young people in this country.
Coming back to the main discussion that is with regards to this agreement between the Gambia government, Spain and Saudi Arabia, what picture do you have to paste at the National Assembly to maybe like for them to consider with regards to this agreement between the Gambia and these two governments before the final take?
So for me, first, I wasn't sure whether this agreement in fact reached the National Assembly before it was signed. The proper procedure, it should have gone through the National Assembly for vetting before the central government will assent to accepting this agreement between Spain or Saudi Arabia. The National Assembly was supposed to properly scrutinize the agreement between the Gambia and Saudi Arabia, and also between the Gambia and Spain, to know what is in that document, what is in that agreement. So yet, there is still time. The National Assembly can go and look at this agreement to know exactly the purpose of this agreement, what it entails, and what young people of this country are going to expect in these countries. So the National Assembly have a role to play in this contract between the Gambia and Spain, and between the Gambia and Saudi Arabia.
Finally, what advice do you have in this whole matter?
Well, the only advice that I will give is let the government really look at the plight of young people in this country. Because to me, this is not enough to cope unemployment of young people in this country. This is a non-starter to me. Because 12 months is a non-starter. Because once you come back, what are you going to find here? What other opportunities would you find here? It's like coming back and start from scratch. Because once you work in Spain for those period of time, you have families back home. And they will be expecting for you to send something for them back home.
And maybe some of them leave their job to go for this.
Exactly. So how much are you earning in the Gambia, and how much are you going to earn in Spain or Saudi Arabia? So I think all these things need to be looked at, but the government should definitely look at the plight of young people and make sure they really invest a lot in empowering young people in this country when it comes to job opportunities, when it comes to creating those that skill training for them so that these young people can also create an avenue or create those jobs for themselves to be able to have a meaningful and sustainable life for themselves in this country.
Thank you so much, Mr. MOMODOU JANNEH. That brings us to the end of this program. And as he was saying, it's with regards to the Gambia, Spain, and Saudi Arabia agreement, and we have him in the studio as a youth activist and also a youth advocate that really stand for the matters when it comes to the young people. And he raised concerns with regards to that agreement that he feels like there are some inappropriate actions or maybe steps that the government have taken that need to be reconsidered. So as I said, that brings us to the end of this program on TXD TV, that is the Youth Empowerment and Innovation Series. Until we meet on the next episode, and I was a presenter, Mustapha Jarju. Thank you. Welcome to Yusuf Gay Stationery Printing Shop in Manjai. Looking for high-quality printing services? We specialize in everything from business cards, logo creation, billboards, t-shirt printing, banners, and flyers to customized stationery, among others. Our commitment to excellence ensures your prints stands out with vibrant colors and sharp details. Why choose us? With our fast turnaround, you get your prints when you need them. With our affordable prices, we ensure quality does not have to break the bank. We work with you to bring your vision to life. Visit Yusuf Gay Stationery Printing Shop today in Manjai New Road, and let's create something amazing together. Your ideas deserve the best print quality. Reach out to us today at 990-4321 or 721-4654. Better still, 310-5889.